As our second problem, we're taking a closer look at scenario analysis. Namely, we are direct mailing some kind of a catalog, and we take a look at how our company's operations will either result in losses or profits. Well, when we print our catalog, there is something called a fixed cost of printing that is incurred. That means that we have our business partner who actually does the printing and set up the printing operation. This always results in a cost of $20,000, no matter how much we actually print. And of course there's another cost associated with printing as well. That one depends on the number printed. So we decide we're going to print right now 100,000 catalogs, and there's something called variable cost of printing, which means that each catalog costs 25 cents to print and to mail for us. Actually, as we see, these blue grayish cells here mean that this is something that the market dictates for us. This red one here means that this is something we've decided ourselves, how many orders to send out. So something to note from our workbooks as well. Now, in case a person places an order from our mailing catalog, the average size of the order is $40. So this is the money coming in. And there is something called a cost related to that order, which means that if there is an order, since we need those products, we need to buy for those products or make them ourselves. This is the cost that is associated with our order. So when an order is placed, the average size of the value of the order is $40, and the average cost for making those products that are worth $40 is for us $32.2. We also have something called response rate. This means that if we send out 100,000 catalogs, about 8% of people actually buy from us. And as was said, this is resulted in an average size of $40 per one purchase. But now let us calculate the rest of the numbers. The first question is, how many people, what's the number of people that actually respond to our mailing order? And that equals this 100,000, which is number mailed, times 8%, which is the percentage of people who are actually responding to our mail order catalog. And of course the number here is 8,000. Next, let's take a look at the money coming in for our operation. The money coming in equals those 8,000 who actually bought our products times $40, which was the average size of the order that was taken from us. Okay, now this means that the total money coming in right now with these numbers, with this decision on how much mail order catalogs to send out, well, the money coming in is $320,000. Let's look at costs that we also have. The first cost equals 20,000 is fixed cost of printing. So that was one of the costs that we always had. Now the other cost is sending out those mail order catalogs, which means that it equals 100,000, which is number mailed, times 25 cents per sending out and mailing the catalog. So we have the fixed cost of setting up the operation, or purchasing a printing operation from our business partner, and we have that variable cost, which also is part of our printing mailing process. That depends on how many we mail. There's another third part to the cost, which is equals the number we sold, which is number of responses to our catalog, times $32.2, which is how much our product really costs for us. So once again, we sold $40 worth of products, but it cost to us 32.2. So all these 8,000 food pouches actually incur a 32.2 size of cost of that product, merchandise we're really selling to them. And now what we have to calculate is the total cost. So all costs added together, the printing plus the mailing plus the cost of the merchandise itself, and we get that our costs are $302,600. So our revenue was $302,000 and our cost is $320,000 and $302,600. So here we are. And our profit equals the revenue minus cost. Total revenue minus total cost. Actually, we see that our operations are bringing in some profit of size $17,400. Our next question is, how does our company's profit depend on the percentage of people responding to our mailing order? So let's say that we write 1% as the number of respondents, and then we'll write 2%. Actually, in Microsoft Excel, what we can do now is we can select both these 1 and 2 percentages, and we can just copy them together like this. And Excel will take the kind of a system or a pattern we've developed, 1%, 2%, and it will make it have further values of 3, 4, 5 up to 10%. Okay, so what we want to see is what is the profit. So we just write equals profit in that gray cell. And what we're going to do now is we will run something that's called data table, and that will substitute these profit percentages into our cell E4. So all these percentages will be put into that cell, and every time it will take the profit that we've gained and it's going to write it out in here. So it's kind of a scenario analyzer. So it writes in different profit percentages, and different response rates, and it records what's going to be the profit. For that, we will have to select the table this way, so the entire 2 columns of the table, and give the command which is which is data what if analysis data table. So we're kind of dealing with scenario analysis. Data what if analysis data table. Remember that this gray cell is already linked with profit, and what we haven't linked together in our data table is this 1% with the response rate. So we're going to go to column input cell and write and click on this response rate 8%. We can memorize it like this, that those numbers, those percentages here, are in column under each other. So that's why we say column input cell, and we click on 8%, we get $E, $4. Now, not only profit, but also the response rate is linked to our main exercise, and we can click OK. Here it is. If the response rate is only 1%, we're deeply in losses, $37,000. If the response rate is 5%, we're somewhat making profit. This is still somewhat in losses, minus $6,000. But already, for instance, for 6% response rate, we are making some profits. This should now be graphed out. So what we're doing now is we're selecting the table, and we use insert scatter graph. In such cases, we always use scatter graph. That is because, just to show, in the case of this table, we have like coordinates of points. So for instance, there is 1% response rate and its profit, 4% response rate and its profit. So these are like, the response rates are going to go to x-axis, and here they are on the chart, and the profits are going to go to y-axis, and here they are. Here they are, and what we see is a straight line for the company moving from losses to profits as more and more people respond to our sales proposal. Okay, so kind of a scenario analysis. And the last thing we want to do, we want to know exactly when did we get